Hi there, I'm Wong King Wai, the host for the AgeProperty.com's new interior design show called Celebrity Trail, where we take you into the special spaces that celebrities just love to hang out in. In today's episode, I'm taking you into a unique kitchen specially designed by celebrity chef Rohani Jelani. Rohani Jelani has over 26 years of experience in the field of cooking. She's authored several cookbooks and worked for Her World magazine for 7 years before striking it out on her own to teach others how to cook. Her popularity has seen her name being mentioned in the 2009 edition of popular American food and travel magazine Saveur. She holds her classes in her former home. She moved out in 2009 in the tranquil Kampung Sungai Penchala. This rustic village is just a stone throws away from busy Mutiara Damansara. The house, christened Bayan Indah, sits on nearly 1 acre of land. The land was purchased for 350,000 ringgit in 1996. She then built the surrounding structures and specially placed the kitchen to the front of the house. Rohani shares with me her kitchen concept.
When I built my house, I wanted to make sure that the kitchen is not at the back of the house, which is the usual way people position kitchens, because I spend a lot of time in the kitchen. And when you entertain or when you have friends over, if your kitchen is in front, people don't feel shy to come in, and we entertain a lot within the kitchen. A lot of my work is also done in the kitchen. My kitchen is really my office, and I spend a lot of time there. So I didn't want to be tucked in at the back, but be welcoming in front of the house. Yeah.
Her kitchen has several unique features, as does the rest of her property, where she planted various herbs and trees for use in her cooking classes. She shows us around her expansive kitchen and garden.
This is the dining area. I can't really call it a dining room because it opens out into the garden, as you can see. This is where my students and I sit down and eat our lunch or our dinner after the cooking class. We put all our food out there and then we sit down here and enjoy our meal. Let me take you to the kitchen now. As you can see, the space between the dining area and the kitchen is still continuous. I haven't separated it with any walls, or even the door is just a glass door to give you that feeling of invitation into the kitchen. Now let me show you something interesting over on this side. I always like a sink that is molded in one piece with the splashback and the draining board all in one. All this means is you are not joining the sink with silicone, which tends to peel at the end. Another feature that I always make sure is that underneath the sink, it is always tiled and not a cabinet underneath. Whenever you wash things or you have cold items in the sink, condensation tends to happen, and this area is always like a moist area which should always be ventilated. This you can do by having ventilated slatted doors, so there's always a continuation of air circulation there. Another thing that I do in my kitchen is that I like bits of color. I don't like my kitchen to look too serious or too clinical, so I like splashes of color in my kitchen. Lime green happens to be a favorite color of mine, so I chose to use these tiles here, and on this side, tiny glass mosaic in a different shade of green. But if you're using color on the walls, then you try and keep everything else kind of like subtle. So I've opted for just white cabinets and stainless steel tops. You might find it rather curious that in a kitchen that is used as much as mine, I don't have extractor hoods above my cooking stations. I find that I don't really like cooking under the extractor hood, plus it makes a lot of a buzzing sound. So I decided to dispense with it to try and see whether I could get away with it. Because my kitchen is really quite well ventilated, I think I can. And instead of the extractor fans, I have built a light box here which illuminates the working area, and on top of the light box it gives you like a ledge to put interesting collections of things. But even more importantly, I actually have the light box with metal underneath so that I can put magnetic strips here and I can read my recipes as I cook. My students love it because then it means they can cook and read at the same time. If you have the space, a walk-in pantry is a fantastic thing to have in your kitchen. I have one here which allows me to put all my things on open shelves. What this means is you don't have to open 6 different cupboards to find a particular bowl or a particular plate that you want. Here you can put all the different things in different categories on the shelf, easy for you to reach. To give the kitchen a nice airy open feel, I actually installed full-length glass windows which can be slid to the sides, opening the kitchen up right into the garden. Not many people are aware that herbs actually make very pretty garden plants. Here is a whole bunch of turmeric or daun kunyit, which looks nice here, just at the corner of the kitchen outside.
Rohani's kitchen is certainly one of a kind, but there are 2 design tips that you could use when it comes to renovating or designing your own kitchen. Rohani suggests that sinks should be molded to the space allocated to it so that it will avoid unsightly peeling of silicone around the rim of the sink in a few years' time. And for the space beneath the sink to be tiled with good ventilation so that condensation that happens when a cold item is placed in the sink doesn't lead to mold and a shorter shelf life to the materials surrounding the sink. Now, besides these design tips, Rohani is going to demonstrate a very simple recipe that you can try out at home and whip up in no time.
This is a very simple roast chicken dish that I like to do. It's very quick and it uses fresh herbs and a bit of garlic to flavor the chicken. All I do is very coarsely chop garlic, and I like to use fresh herbs, not really the dry herbs. And you can easily buy fresh herbs now from the supermarket. I'm going to season it with a little salt and pepper on both sides. Yeah, you don't really have to worry too much about the measurements. Okay, I also sometimes like to add a little squeeze of lemon to the chicken because it gives it a nice tanginess. These chopped herbs, just combine them and lift up the skin between the meat here and then tuck your herbs inside. This will give a lovely flavor and also makes the chicken quite pretty. Just before you roast the chicken in the oven, it is a good idea to pour a little water around the chicken. This keeps the chicken nice and moist when you're roasting it and prevents the tray from burning. The oven should be preheated because when the chicken goes in, it should have reached 200 degrees. In it goes, and you can leave it in there to roast for about 30 minutes. After about 30 minutes, the chicken should have cooked, and look, it's now a nice golden brown color. What you do then is pour some chicken stock around and also either milk or cream to make a nice rich sauce. You don't even have to cook it. Just put it back into the oven and wait until it thickens and bubbles. We'll come and check that in about 15 minutes.
Here's what you need to make the easy roast chicken legs with herbs.
So here is our easy baked chicken. All we needed to do was pour the sauce in, give it 15 minutes in the oven, out it comes, and in one dish without a lot of washing up, you've cooked your chicken and made your sauce. Then the rice has been flavored with a little bit of lemon, the one that was left over from using the chicken, and here I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more of finely grated rind on the top. This will easily feed a small family of 3 or 4, so enjoy, and thank you for joining me today.
Cooking doesn't have to be hard, and hopefully this simple recipe will help you discover the joys of cooking for yourself and for your family. If you want to know more about Rohani's Kitchen and Bayan Indah, be sure to pick up the December 2009, January 2010 issue of Haven, a bi-monthly interior and garden magazine published by The Age. I'm Wong King Wai, and for the Celebrity Trail team, here's wishing you happy holidays, and until we meet again, take care and goodbye.